Malacanang appeals to the public to stay at home while there's still no vaccine against the coronavirus disease 2019.
Companies must not require their employees to come to work if no shuttle service is available, according to the palace.
Joint Task Force Coronavirus Shield to recommend a no quarantine pass, no entry policy in malls. The Department of Information and Communications Technology plans to reconfigure internet cafes into digital classrooms and workplaces.
Figures in Spain and Italy. It now has the fourth largest coronavirus outbreak in the world.
Despite what ifs and buts, a Florida-based Filipino nurse joined the battle against COVID-19 in USA's epicenter of the outbreak. First in the news, Malacanang appeals to the public to stay at home. This is while there's still no vaccine against the coronavirus disease 2019. On Saturday, the first day of the implementation of MECQ, or the Modified Enhanced Community Quarantine, people flocked to malls in Metro Manila. Roads were busy with quite a huge volume of vehicles. Now, Malacanang asks the Filipinos to cooperate and stay at home. Rosalie Cos monitored the statements of the presidential spokesperson. She has this report to tell us why.
Malacanang has repeatedly appealed to the public for cooperation to abide by the stay-at-home orders while the world is still in search for cure and protection against the disease caused by the new coronavirus. This appeal also comes despite the easing of quarantine restrictions in various parts of the national capital region. According to presidential spokesperson Secretary Harry Roque, the government started to slowly ease restrictions to revive the economy and not because we are safe already.
Kaya nga po aking babala, pag hindi tayo nag-cooperate, sakali na po tayo pupulutin. Pakiusap ko po, kung hindi kinakailangan manatili sa bahay, kung kinakailangan magtrabaho, social distancing, minimum health standards. Kung ayaw nyo pong pulutin sa kalsada.
Should the Philippines experience a spike of COVID-19 cases again, the government will be forced to implement enhanced community quarantine or ECQ yet again. The palace also warns establishments such as malls and shopping centers of closure order if minimum health standards are not implemented.
Paalala sa mga mall owners, pasasara po muli kayo kung hindi nyo mapapatupad ang social distancing.
On the first day of MECQ on May 16, malls and shopping centers welcomed thousands of customers. The police monitored the implementation of physical distancing measures. Rosalie Cos, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The country's Labor Department is pushing for the preservation of employment by businesses and enterprises. This comes as the country slowly transitions into the new normal and amid the global health emergency. Labor Secretary Silvestre Bello III issued today the guidelines on how employers can best protect jobs and prevent layoffs and retrenchments. The Labor Advisory encourages work from home and other alternative work schemes like transferring an employee to another branch, assigning an employee to another function or position in the same or another branch or outlet, reducing the work days or work hours, job rotations, partial closure of an establishment while some department or unit is continued, and other schemes necessary for the survival of a specific business or establishment. These apply to businesses and industries allowed to resume their operations under the Modified Enhanced Community quarantine or general community quarantine. In a statement, according to the labor chief, they encourage businesses to dig deeper into their vast reserve of charity and benevolence so that their workers and the communities can continue to further weather this crisis that we are all facing and fighting together. In a separate labor advisory, meanwhile, DOLA states that employers, including contractors or subcontractors in the private sector, must shoulder the cost of preventing the spread of COVID-19 in workplaces. Many businesses have reopened since day one of the MECQ, but mass transport remains suspended in MECQ areas. Now, Malacanang advises employers not to require the employees to come to work if the company cannot provide shuttle service for its workers. Rosalie Cos reports why.
23-year-old Sara Estanislao is a sales executive. Before the coronavirus pandemic, she dealt with her customers personally in a shop where she offers laminators, scanners, printers, and other equipment. But in the middle of the global pandemic, she said that working from home is preferable, with the present situation and threats to health. Comparing commuting to work with working from home, health is the first thing she considers.
Ayun nga rin po yung kinakatakot ko po. Siyempre hindi naman po natin alam yung mga makakasalamuha po natin sa sasakyan, kung saan po sila nanggaling or kung may mga sakit po ba yung mga nakasalamuha nila.
According to Malacanang, if an employer cannot provide shuttle service or temporary quarters for employees, he cannot require workers to come to work physically.
Bagamat bahagyang binuksan natin ang ekonomiya, obligasyon po ng mga employers magbigay ng sakay sa kanilang empleyado or tirahan doon sa kanilang lugar na pinagtatrabahuhan. Kung hindi po kaya, wag na muna po kayo magpapasok. Pero kayo pong may obligasyon magbigay ng sakay sa ating mga empleyado.
The palace also reiterates the company cannot blame its workers if they cannot go to work because of unavailability of vehicles. Rosalie Cos, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
A joint task force coronavirus shield inspected malls and shopping centers in Quezon City today, like the UP Town Center and SM North EDSA. The task force wanted to check if safety and health protocols are observed. Today is the third day since the MECQ was implemented in Metro Manila. A joint task force commander sees no violations so far. Lea Ilagan, who was there during the inspection in malls, will tell us why.
The Joint Task Force CV Shield would like to implement no quarantine pass, no entry in malls that operate in areas under modified enhanced community quarantine like in Metro Manila. Its commander, Police Lieutenant General Guillermo Eleazar, says that he will tackle this at a meeting with mall security managers to reduce the number of mall goers.
Pag wala kang quarantine pass, ibig sabihin hindi ikaw yung pinayagan ng LGU na mag-represent sa household mo para pumunta sa mga establishmento na permitted to operate.
Eleazar explains that when a person has a quarantine pass but he is not from the locality where the mall is located and he wishes to go to the mall, he won't be allowed to enter.
Ngayon, may quarantine pass ka, hindi ka naman taga doon. Ang quarantine pass mo, taga Caloocan ka pala, nasa Mandaluyong ka, hindi ka pa rin papapasukin.
The one customer per 2 square meter policy must be observed inside malls.
The maximum number na allowed sa mall, considering the computation of the common areas, na ang formula daw doon na sinasabi nila is 1 customer per 2 square meters. Ngayon, pag umabot na sa bilang na yung nakapasok, wala nang papasukin unless may lumabas na iba.
The Joint Task Force CV Shield Commander also reminds that temperature inside malls and shopping centers must not be lower than 26 degrees Celsius. The Wi-Fi access must not be made available to mall goers. Lea Ilagan, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Are you one of those who went outdoors today? The first MECQ Monday in Metro Manila. You might have noticed a lot of vehicles on the road, especially on Metro Manila's busiest thoroughfare, EDSA. Asher Cadapan Jr., who monitored the road situation on the first business day under MECQ, will tell us why.
As some business operations resume under modified enhanced community quarantine, companies are providing private vehicles to transport their employees to their workplaces. The movement of a huge volume of vehicles resulted in heavy traffic approaching COVID-19 quarantine control points or checkpoints. Authorities screen every motorist and vehicle at the checkpoints in accordance with the health protocols set by the Department of Health.
Iba na yung volume ng vehicles nung nasa ECQ tayo at saka MECQ, mas marami po ngayon. At very significant yung naging delay sa mga checkpoints because of the volume. Siyempre, kung marami po talaga mag-i-inspect, sa haba po talaga yung queuing na tinatawag.
Some workers resort to riding their bicycle to go to work just like today. According to MMDA EDSA Traffic Czar Edison Bong Nebrija, they expect more individuals using bicycles once General Enhanced Community Quarantine or GCQ takes effect in Metro Manila. During the GCQ period, more businesses will open and more workers will be allowed outdoors, though a limited seating capacity will be implemented on public utility vehicles.
So on the drawing table already na paano natin bibigyan ng bike lane. Hindi lang basta-basta bike lane, lalong-lalo sa EDSA, kundi protected bike lane. Kasi pag nag-transition pa sa GCQ, everybody will be there, and we do not want ma-mix yung mga bisikleta with private vehicles, public transport, or motorcycle.
Meanwhile, MMDA's number coding scheme remains suspended to allow employees to use their private vehicles when traveling to work. Asher Cadapan Jr., UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
A medical anthropologist suggests that Filipinos must avoid or even forget habits like spitting and carelessly sneezing when in a public place, especially at this time of the pandemic caused by the new coronavirus. Aiko Miguel reports why.
Some Filipinos are accustomed to spitting anywhere in public places. According to medical anthropologist Dr. Michael Tan, this habit should be avoided or should be forgotten even. Spitting is a way through which virus is transmitted, especially now amid the COVID-19 pandemic.
We need to intensify our public health campaigns, no? Kasi sa totoo lang, maraming mga Pilipino hindi naniniwala na problema ang laway, no? Well, laway at plema, walang difference kasi para sa Pilipino, no? In fact, tingin natin sa laway, di ba? Healing pa yan. Puwera usog sa mga bata. So we have to start explaining, hindi iba na ang laway ngayon, iba na ang plema, no? So that we have to control ourselves.
Local governments should implement ordinances that prohibit spitting to prevent the further spread of the COVID-19 virus. Dr. Tan also suggests that while scientists around the world are still in search of an anti-COVID-19 vaccine, local governments should ban marathon karaoke or video RECESSION, which Filipinos are also fond of. Liquor ban must remain, he says. He explains these bad habits will contribute to the mounting of COVID-19 cases in the country. Experts repeatedly remind the public to strictly observe minimum health standards and to remain vigilant and cooperative with the government because we are all together in this fight. Aiko Miguel, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Meanwhile, President Rodrigo Duterte is expected to return to Manila from Davao City tonight. The president flew back to his hometown to be with his family and to personally check on the situation in Mindanao amid the coronavirus disease pandemic. His flight to Davao City came after more than 2 months in Malacanang. Presidential spokesperson Secretary Harry Roque explains that under the IATF's quarantine protocols, government officials are allowed to travel from an MECQ area to a location under GCQ. The palace official is uncertain, however, if the president can deliver a public address tonight.
Ang alam ko pong pagbalik niya ay, kung hindi ako nagkakamali, mamaya din, no? Mamaya din po ang pagbalik ng presidente, hindi ko lang po alam kung matutuloy ang public address mamaya. Pero mamaya po ang balik ni presidente, gabi.
The municipality of Angono, Rizal has begun using a thermal imager to speed up body temperature check in public places. Like today, it was used at 3 municipal halls and a public market. There is no need for people to queue for temperature check. Instead, the thermal imager can screen the temperature of every member of a crowd all at once. That's according to Angono Mayor Jerry May Calderon. The province of Rizal is now under general community quarantine. Authorities expect more people to go outdoors, so this thermal imager is preventing further the spread of the COVID-19 virus. In the Philippines, it takes 13.5 days or approximately 2 weeks before COVID-19 test results come out. This is the average according to a Filipino genomic data scientist who is worried over the country's testing capacity. His recommendation: issue COVID-19 test results as soon as 2 to 3 days. Aiko Miguel explains why.
In the program Get It Straight with Daniel Razon this morning, Dr. Darwin Bandoy, a Filipino genomic data scientist, said that with the length of time before a COVID-19 test result comes out, there is a great possibility of transmission of the virus from a COVID-19 positive. Dr. Bandoy recommends the issuance of test results be as early as 2 to 3 days.
Around 2 weeks po. Kailangan po itong paiksiin kasi masyado pong matagal yung 2 weeks na pag-aantay. Bakit po natin kailangan ng results within 2 to 3 days? Kasi po, yung pag nag-come into contact ka sa isang may COVID-19, within 3.5 to 4 days, pwede ka nang maghawa yung nag-come into contact.
Dr. Bandoy adds contact tracing efforts should be done hastily in accordance with the advice of WHO Philippines. Contact tracing can be made easier through a mobile application just like in other countries. Using a mobile app, as most people have mobile phones, information dissemination, isolation and tracing of contacts of a confirmed case will be a lot easier and faster.
Kung mami-minimize po natin yung paglabas o only to do the essentials that we need to do, yun po yung ating pwedeng gawin. At patuloy lang din po tayo ng pagtingin sa mga data at pag-inform sa mga tao.
The reproductive number of COVID-19 cases in the Philippines has decreased since April. From a ratio of 1:3 or a confirmed case to 3 more infected, it has gone down to 1:1 since the implementation of quarantine measures. But the reproductive number could balloon again once the public becomes complacent and takes advantage of the relaxing of restrictions, like going to malls and supermarkets without practicing physical distancing and other minimum health standards.
While may early signs ng flattening ng curve, hindi po to absolute, pwede pa rin pong tumaas ang cases. So kailangan i-maintain pa rin po natin yung social distancing or physical distancing na tinatawag at ang pagsusuot ng mask. So hindi pa po tayo completely safe.
The country has reached the 9,000 minimum testing capacity last week, but the actual target is 30,000 tests per day before the month ends. To reach this target, we need 70 licensed testing laboratories across the country. Mortality rate will also go down while experts are buying time to find a cure or vaccine for COVID-19. Aiko Miguel, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Now let's take a closer look at the updated count of coronavirus cases around the world. The COVID-19 pandemic has now reached a total of more than 4.7 million confirmed cases in 188 countries, regions, and sovereignty. The fast-spreading disease has claimed over 315,000 lives, while more than 1.7 million patients across the globe have recovered from the new coronavirus infection. The United States of America, as of today, has recorded more than 1.48 million known cases and remains to have the most confirmed cases in the world, including at least 272,000 deaths. Russia has gradually become the world's second most infected country. Russia confirmed 8,926 new coronavirus infections today, bringing the country's official number of cases to 290,678. Noticeably, European countries, which have begun to ease coronavirus restrictions, trail the USA on the tally of COVID-19 cases. Meanwhile, Peru joins the top 12 countries worst hit by the coronavirus pandemic, with 92,273 known cases, including 28,621 deaths. As you can see, China, Canada, and Belgium are no longer part of our top 12 tally, although they remain in the top 15. And in the Philippines, the Department of Health reports 205 new cases, bringing the total known patients infected with the COVID-19 virus in the country to 12,718. That's based on the Health Department's 4 p.m. report today. We have lost 7 more patients. Now the country's death toll stands at 831. With the help of our valiant medical frontliners, 94 more people have won their battle against the invisible enemy. That brings the total recoveries nationwide to 2,729.
Barangay 12 in Dagat-Dagatan, Caloocan City has begun its COVID-19 mass testing amid the total lockdown. Joe Anano tells us why.
Now that Barangay 12 in Dagat-Dagatan, Caloocan City is under a 6-day total lockdown, barangay officials target to conduct COVID-19 tests on 500 residents per day. Based on data from the Caloocan City government, Barangay 12 has the highest number of confirmed COVID-19 cases in the city, which has reached 30. Barangay 12 is home to about 35,000 individuals. As of 2 p.m. today, authorities have apprehended 5 residents who violated the total lockdown protocols. Barangay officials themselves noticed the number of lockdown violators and attributes the spike in the number of COVID-19 cases here to the violations of safety health measures and lockdown protocols.
Meron tumatawag sa amin, nagsasabong, nagiinuman. So parang sabi ko, tapos yung nagsasabong pa yun, after nung ayuda na bigay ng 8,000, sila pa po mismo yung nagsasabong.
All residents are ordered to stay at home, markets and stores are all closed. Barangay officials will designate some of their personnel to assist residents in buying their basic needs during the lockdown. Frontliners, essential workers, residents who need immediate medical assistance, and those who will submit themselves to the COVID-19 testing are exempted from the lockdown. Violators of the total lockdown will be apprehended, taken to the City Hall, or face penalties such as a 3,000 peso fine. Joanano, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Almost 50% of public utility vehicles in Lucena City in Quezon Province resume their operations. Lucena City is now under general community quarantine. Buses, jeepneys, tricycles, and motorbangkas with franchises may serve the riding public, provided they ensure that public health protocols are observed to prevent the spread of the COVID-19 virus. These include physical distancing, wearing of face masks, use of alcohol, rub or hand sanitizers, among others. According to the Lucena City Chief of Police, they have informed tricycle associations of the GCQ guidelines pertaining to their operations. There will be no fare increase despite less passengers, according to drivers. Meanwhile, the police are doubling their efforts in monitoring establishments that have reopened to make sure health safety protocols are implemented.
So Navotas local government has appealed to extend the enhanced community quarantine period in the city, despite the shift to modified enhanced community quarantine all over Metro Manila. But that request has been denied. Ray Pelayo explains why.
Navotas City Mayor Toby Chanco says the Interagency Task Force against COVID-19 did not grant the city's request to extend the ECQ in Navotas. Because certain restrictions have been lifted, Mayor Chanco fears a possible spike in the number of COVID-19 cases in the city, seeing the trend update from the country's Department of Health. Navotas has recorded more than 100 known coronavirus cases as of today. Chanco says they are still waiting for the results of the swab test conducted last week on 900 other individuals in the city. Since the city is now under MECQ, according to Mayor Chanco, they are having difficulty controlling the movement of residents who are using a number of alibis just to go outdoors.
Pwede na siya mag-exercise kahit wala siyang home quarantine pass. Kung bukas na tindahan ng damit, bukas na tindahan ng laruan, bukas na ang flower shop, bukas na tindahan ng motorsiklo, hindi niya kailangan ng home quarantine pass para pumunta sa mga lugar na yan. So, ano mangyayari? Bakit wala na yung home quarantine pass?
Pedicabs and tricycles are also allowed to operate under MECQ but limited only to one passenger per ride. No fare increase applied. Meanwhile, Mayor Chanco is asking the City Council to include in the draft ordinance provisions that will ban the sale of alcoholic beverages or a liquor ban. For now, the city government can only impose strict physical distancing measures and the wearing of face masks, especially in public places like public markets and malls. Ray Pelayo, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Department of Information and Communications Technology plans to reconfigure internet cafes into the country into digital classrooms and workplaces. Vincent Arboleda will tell us why.
The lack of internet connectivity at home remains to be one of the problems of many Filipinos, even though the internet is considered as an essential or basic service nowadays. So as part of the new normal in education and labor practices, the Department of Information and Communications Technology or DICT plans to repurpose internet cafes as digital classrooms and workplaces. The program can help the public save money as many internet cafes are just a stone throw away from their homes.
So instead of matatagalan siguro na lahat ng bahay natin ay makonektahan, konektahan mo natin itong mga community digital classrooms as mga digital workplaces para pwede na hong lakarin ng mga nearby sa community na yan at makapag-aral din sila o makapagtrabaho from this repurposed internet cafes, no?
The DICT plans to establish around 3,600 digital classrooms and workplaces across the country. The agency is also coordinating with local internet service providers in every area to provide internet connection to cafes. The DICT targets to accomplish the repurposing by the opening of classes on August 24, 2020. Vincent Arboleda, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
The city government of Butuan in Agusan del Norte province is investigating an incident as shown on a video that has gone viral. A Facebook post on May 16 shows several individuals on board a pickup that belongs to the Butuan city government. The individuals wore face masks but failed to follow physical distancing protocols. The incident has raised eyebrows. The Butuan city government assures this will not go unnoticed.
Rest assured, hindi ito ito-tolerate ng ating city mayor.
Jego William, we are on board the UNTV radio mobile booth and we are currently traversing EDSA northbound here in the area of Bagong Barrio in Caloocan City. And as we all know, today is the first day of work under the modified enhanced community quarantine, and some of our kababayans have returned to their work and industries allowed to resume operations. In this specific area, Jego William, we can see many private cars plying the road, but based on our observation, the volume of vehicles is lesser compared to those we've seen in other parts of major thoroughfares, including the North Luzon Expressway northbound, where there is a buildup of cars. Also, from this morning and up until this time, Jego William, vehicles in the southbound area of Balintawak Cloverleaf relief could hardly move forward due to motorists entering Metro Manila. NLEX Vice President Romulo Quimbo says that at least 100,000 motorists will be in NLEX because of the implementation of the modified enhanced community quarantine. He said that a lot of shuttle buses, company buses, and employees have been allowed to report, causing heavy traffic, particularly at the Bocaue Toll Plaza and Balintawak southbound. The NLEX official added that those who already got past the checkpoints will no longer be stopped by NLEX personnel. Jego William, public transport is still suspended under the modified enhanced community quarantine. Meanwhile, good news. The country's Department of Foreign Affairs, or DFA, announces the reopening of consular offices for consular services only. The governments or malls that host the consular office. The DFA assures physical distancing and public health safety measures will be strictly implemented once operations in the consular offices resume. It recommends that clients set appointments via email or phone call if they wish to avail of consular services. According to the DFA, consular offices that are closed may provide services for clients who show documentary proof of their emergencies or urgent travel only. Those include returning OFWs, persons who need medical treatment abroad, or persons going on compassionate visits, such as for grave illness or death of a family member. To know which consular offices have reopened and their office hours, just visit DFA's social media accounts. For questions about passport renewal and release abroad, just send an inquiry via email to oca.concerns@dfa.gov.ph or passportconcerns@dfa.gov.ph.
The lower house of Congress recalls the second reading passage of House Bill number 6732, or the ABS-CBN Provisional Franchise Bill. Vincent Arboleda will tell us why.
The approval in the second reading of House Bill 6732 granting ABS-CBN a provisional franchise to operate until October 31, 2020 has been recalled by the lower house of Congress. Other than what was stated earlier, another objection that Albay 1st District Representative Edsel Lagban raised is a violation of the Constitution due to the passage of the first and second reading on the same day. Lagban cites Section 26, Article 6 of the Philippine Constitution. It says there that no bill passed by either House of Congress shall become a law unless it has passed 3 readings on separate days, unless certified urgent by the President. This was explained by Cagayan de Oro 2nd District Representative Rufus Rodriguez.
So to cure that, so that there will be no chance that there will be a case will be filed in court that we will again question that because of this constitutional requirement, it's better we have a curative measure of bring it back to the plenary and approve it again on second reading this Monday, separately from the first reading last Wednesday.
Several lawmakers have presented their questions, clarifications, and amendments to House Bill 6732, one of which was the amendment proposed by Congressman Rodriguez to remove the provision that 10% of the commercial airtime slots of the station be given free for the government's use.
That is not found in other franchises. And so therefore, this becomes a violation of the Constitution that says there should be no person shall be denied of the equal protection of the laws. Why is it that others do not have this? And why is it that ABS-CBN is now required to have this 10%?
But according to House Speaker Alan Peter Cayetano, the provision also exists in the franchises of TV5 and GMA7 and is something beneficial for the government in airing campaigns and programs relevant to the public. Several lawmakers have also presented their questions as well as support to the passage of the bill. After several hours of deliberating the issue of the provisional franchise, the session was suspended without the approval in the second reading. The session will resume at 3 p.m. tomorrow. Vincent Arboleda, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
Some senators say they will not inhibit from the deliberation and voting of the ABS-CBN franchise bill. This was in response to the call of Attorney Larry Gadon on 9 senators to inhibit from the media's network Senate deliberations due to alleged connections with and benefits from the network. According to Senate President Vicente Soto III, he is not a stockholder or financially interested in the business of ABS-CBN. The Senate leader says he cannot neglect his sworn duty, being a part of the Congress that is mandated by the Constitution to grant franchises. Meanwhile, Senator Sonny Angara says there is no reason for him to inhibit as he does not have substantial interest in the company. He adds neither he nor his wife is an officer in the company, thus stressing that there is no conflict of interest on his part. For his part, Senator Kiko Pangilinan says he sees no need to comment on the matter. Meanwhile, Senate Minority Leader Franklin Drilon says the lawyer's move has no basis, noting that inhibition is a personal decision of each senator and cannot be imposed even by the Supreme Court. Drilon adds only the Senate can discipline them if there are ethical issues involved in their participation in the media network's franchise. Earlier, Gadon has filed a letter before the Office of the Senate President calling for the inhibition of 9 senators, including Senator Pangilinan, claiming that the senator's wife is a talent and a stockholder of the company. He also claimed that Senator Angara's wife works as a top executive of the network. Also included is Senate President Soto, claiming that he received fees and royalties from the network. Other senators included in Gadon's call to inhibit are Pia Cayetano, Lito Lapid, Grace Poe, Manny Pacquiao, Ramon Revilla, and Ralph Recto. The said senators have yet to comment on the matter. However, Senator Grace Poe already announced her inhibition last March in leading the proceedings on ABS-CBN franchise, being the chair of the Committee on Public Services. She later on assigned one of the committee's vice chairpersons, Senator Sherwin Gatchalian, to head the hearings on the media network's franchise bills.
Meanwhile, the country's Foreign Affairs Department reports that the total number of COVID-19 cases among Filipinos abroad today is now at 2,405. This number includes 8 new confirmed cases, 2 new recoveries, and 2 new deaths recorded in the Americas, Europe, and the Middle East. This is the second consecutive day where no new reports were received from the Asia and the Pacific. Based on these figures, the total number of Filipinos abroad who recovered from COVID-19 remains almost 3 times more than the total fatalities. Japan's economy slips into recession for the first time in 4.5 years. This puts the nation on course for its deepest post-war slump as the coronavirus pandemic ravages businesses and consumers. Data showed today that Japan would soon ease restrictions in other prefectures. The daily number of new coronavirus cases reported in Tokyo dropped to 5 on Sunday. And that's the lowest since the capital was placed under a state of emergency on April 7th. Meanwhile, in Spain, a daily death toll from the coronavirus was 87 on Sunday, the health ministry said. That's a drop below 100 for the first time in 2 months. Total deaths from the virus climbed to over 27,000, while the number of confirmed cases edged up to more than 231,000, still among the top 5 worst-hit countries, though. The Spanish government will seek to extend its coronavirus state of emergency one last time until late June. Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez said on Saturday. This was despite anti-government protests. Spain first decreed a state of emergency on March 14. Officials say restrictions must stay in place a bit longer as the lockdown is gradually phased out.
230,000 at the weekend. It surpasses the numbers in Spain and Italy, Europe's worst-hit countries. Chris Perez reports why.
Brazil, with almost 234,000 known coronavirus disease cases, now has 4th largest COVID-19 outbreak in the world. According to the Center for Systems Science and Engineering at Johns Hopkins University. That figure includes nearly 16,000 death cases as of today.
According to a statement issued by the Vice President Office, Brazilian Vice President Hamilton Mourão and his wife undertook COVID-19 tests on Saturday after a household help who had close contact with them tested positive. The couple are under quarantine at home now. Last Friday, Brazil lost its second health minister in a month after President Jair Bolsonaro demanded an endorsement of risky anti-malarial drugs to fight the coronavirus outbreak. Taik gave no reason for quitting in brief comments to journalists. On the other hand, President Bolsonaro strongly supports the resumption of business activities, ending large-scale isolation as soon as possible. Bolsonaro said the isolation measures taken by the governors and mayors of different states here in Brazil will even bring more chaos, hunger, and poverty. A total of 380 million people without formal jobs have lost everything in the outbreak. The president is worried that it will be difficult to recover the economy and social order.
However, as the epidemic is almost out of control in the largest country in South America, most states and municipalities have decided to further strengthen isolation measures to ensure the safety of people. Chris Perez, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Elsewhere in Colombia, the Air Force flew 6 coronavirus patients from its remote Amazonas province to the capital of Bogota on Sunday. The jungle cities of Colombia, Peru, and Brazil have seen some of the worst rates of coronavirus cases in their respective countries. Colombia's Amazonas province, one of its most sparsely populated with just 66,000 inhabitants, had around 1,000 reported cases of coronavirus and at least 30 deaths. Colombia has already put in strict quarantine measures in the province, requiring people there to stay home even as it allows some industries to return to work in other parts of the country. Colombia has nearly 16,000 confirmed cases and more than 500 deaths, according to government sources. Meanwhile, the United Kingdom's Business Secretary announced on Sunday the government is providing an additional £84 million to fund British researchers working on potential vaccines to provide against the new coronavirus. Alok Sharma said the money would help mass produce a vaccine that Oxford scientists are working on to be able to provide doses in the UK as soon as possible. If current trials were successful, and Sharma added that Oxford University and drug maker AstraZeneca had struck a global licensing deal and would work to make 30 million doses available for the UK population by September.
We have set in place a rapid deployment facility as well, so that we are ready to start producing in the summer of this year.
And in other news in Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu presented his new unity government to Parliament on Sunday, ending more than a year of political deadlock, but still facing a trial starting in a week for alleged corruption. His power-sharing agreement with former election rival Benny Gantz opens the way for the right-wing Netanyahu to proceed towards a pledged de facto annexation of parts of the occupied West Bank land that Palestinians seek for a state. Under his accord with Gantz, after 3 inconclusive elections, Netanyahu will remain prime minister for 18 months before handing over to his new partner. Gantz, a former armed forces chief, will be Netanyahu's defense minister and alternate prime minister, a new position that Netanyahu will hold when Gantz is in charge. Netanyahu, now 70, first came to power in 1996 and is now Israel's longest-serving leader, serving 3 consecutive terms since 2009. He goes on trial on May 24 on charges of bribery, breach of trust, and fraud, which he denies. SoftBank Group Corporation said today that Alibaba co-founder Jack Ma will resign from its board. The departure of Ma, who retired as Alibaba's executive chairman in September, comes as he pulls back from formal business roles to focus on philanthropy. SoftBank will propose 3 new appointments to the board at its annual general meeting on June 25. The number of board members will expand to 13. Ma's exit follows the departure of Tadashi Yanai, founder and CEO of Uniqlo parent Fast Retailing, who resigned from the board late last year to focus on his fashion business. Ma's personal philanthropy started in 2014 when he set up the Jack Ma Foundation. Since its founding, the Jack Ma Foundation by itself has already distributed or pledged at least $300 million according to figures from Alibaba. Since the spread of the pandemic, Ma has provided countries and regions in need with batches of emergency medical supplies, including face masks, protective suits, and face shields to combat the coronavirus. And those are the reasons behind the news here in Japan and other parts of the globe. Back to you, William.
Thank you very much, R.L. Kamiya, live from Katsuka, Japan.
A Filipino nurse who hails in Bicol recounts her experience as one of the thousands of doctors and nurses who arrived in New York City to help treat COVID-19 patients in the epicenter of the coronavirus outbreak in the USA. She has no regrets entering the battle. Nina Armilio will tell us why.
No country was ever prepared for the pandemic caused by the new coronavirus. It struck even the United States of America, a country of 50 states and a most diverse nation. Thousands and thousands of medical professionals came to the aid of the epicenter of the outbreak in the USA, New York. Claire Encisa Gibson, born and raised in Pulangi, Albay, is one of those warriors who are battling the invisible enemy. Once a high school student in the province, now the clinical leader in Manatee Memorial Hospital in Florida. She went on a 21-day assignment with a hopeful heart and readied mind.
When we arrived there our first week, it was overwhelming. I don't really have any words to describe the experience I had there.
The 35-year-old wife and mother says the battleground is nothing compared to the last 15 years of her career as a nurse.
It's like you're in a war, in a healthcare zone war. It's just amazing how the teamwork and the support to each other of all the nurses there. There's like thousands and thousands of nurses from different states went there to help out.
The ratio of patient to healthcare worker is unbelievable, she said. An overwhelming number of patients, plus healthcare workers getting sick. Despite a lot of what-ifs and fears of coming to New York, she is grateful to be part of the battle and the mission to save lives.
I don't have any regrets.
For Claire, it is a way to give back and to pay it forward.
Moved from Philippines to London and then to Canada, and coming here, those experiences helped me when I moved here to the States. Like, I gained more skills and knowledge, was given the opportunity to work at the ER, given the opportunity to fly. And I don't want to put that, to a waste at this time of pandemic, that where the help is needed.
Though away from her son and husband, she is determined to stay strong. After her assignment, she has to be in Detroit to be with her family once again. But for now, she's in quarantine to make sure she's not a carrier of the virus and cannot infect her family with it. Claire is grateful to God. She tested negative for the disease. Nina Armilio, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
Our kasangbahay, we are at a time when the country is under a state of health emergency. The cooperation of all Filipinos is imperative to avoid the further spread of the deadly virus.
We are calling on everyone to be calm, and most importantly, let us join together in prayer for our country and for the whole world to survive this crisis.
You may join us in our daily UNTV community prayer at these hours as flashed on your screens. And those are the reasons behind the news, May 18, 2020. I am Harleen Delgado. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold. I'm Angelo Castro III.
And I am William Theo. Because we need to know, we will always ask why. Good evening.